heritage and to treasure it. It will probably be up to them in their turn to educate future visitors to treasure it too. Hopefully they will take more care than their predecessors. Disliked this place. Others have learned to love it and to live with Abakaroro, the faraway island. Christmas Island in the Indian Ocean is Australian territory. Less than 100 years ago, it was uninhabited. Now about 3,000 people live here, and in spite of a variety of markedly different traditions, they manage to live together in relative harmony. The population is a mixture of traditional Malay, traditional Chinese, contemporary Asian, and European. The island was given its name by an English sea captain, William Myners, on Christmas Day, 1643. The difficulty of finding a suitable landing place kept most men away for 200 years. Then one of them found a small pebble of phosphate, a valuable fertilizer, and it's been inhabited ever since. Its history has been interwoven with man's best and worst efforts. Exploration, hardship, courage, deception, greed, compromise, war, ingenuity and enterprise, and in the midst of it all,
terrace of the present day was once a fringing reef, now raised by the general uplifting of the entire island. About 6,000 pairs of brown boobies nest in small groups along this shore terrace. You can usually tell when a booby is worried. It attacks whatever lies closest to hand in an agony of frustration and conflict. Humans usually mean trouble here, because the Malays who live on the island like to eat boobies, but we could hardly expect the boobies to know that this was the harmless brute of a research worker's wife. Catching and measuring the chicks is painless enough and does them no harm. But of course the parent bird is still worried and watches anxiously. Nelson and his wife looked at hundreds of pairs all round the island, collecting information about their breeding behavior and feeding habits. An important clue to their feeding is the rate at which the chicks grow. By regular weighing, they found that Christmas Island booby chicks grow remarkably well. In other words, their food supply must be good. Even when trussed up for weighing, the chick stays full of fight. Christmas Island is more than 1,100 feet high, and a dense covering of rainforest runs from shore to summit. Oceanic islands with forest are rare now, most of them having been cleared by man. So in world terms, this is something of great value. Far above the sea is a raised cliff, once the sea cliff, and this runs right round the island. The brown boobies have followed it inland, so that some
flight and stealing their food. The frigate bird is on the national emblem of the Gilbert Islands, now known as Kiribati, and as such is treated with affection by many Gilbertese. This affinity with bird life has not always been so. Since the first men came to Christmas Island, birds have often had a hard time. In the early days, many people owned firearms. Birds were shot for food and for sport.